So what do you think about going from human 1.0 to human 2.0?
Oh my goodness, that sounds flipping awesome. I've been waiting for that flipping Humans 2.0 update for bleeding years. I mean, we've all been waiting for any bug fixes or design refreshes whatsoever for basically forever. Like how the food pipe and the air pipe are in the same place, or that error in many models, mine included, where it sees incredibly harmless things as existential threats and turns on the alarm system almost constantly. Then of course there's the glaring design flaw of its complete inability to carry more than a few hundred bottles of whiskey at a time. What is this, a Sunday?
And what does that mean? Well, going from humans as we now know ourselves to human 2.0 has something to do with transhumanism.
Oh, you mean the melding of man and machine type deal. How we become ever more reliant on technology to the point where the two are in some sense indistinguishable. When again, awesome! Who doesn't want a chest-mounted cannon to smite their enemies? Or a chip in their brain that allows them to switch off their hearing so you can ignore basically everyone all the time? Sounds pretty sweet to me. Plus, you can replace all those useless organs with storage space. Possibly for some kind of alcoholic beverage.
If you're not familiar with that term, it's about taking humans, as we know ourselves, and melding with artificial intelligence.
Well, it would be nice to have humans running around with any kind of intelligence, artificial or not. Am I right, fellas? But, no, that's not what it specifically means anyway, because, well, that certainly could be part of it. It's really about using technology to jumpstart human evolution in a somewhat broad sense. That could mean direct genetic manipulation, that could be integrating a science box into a human's flesh suit. It can mean a lot of things. Don't know why you seem to think that it's just about AI, unless, of course, you didn't actually research any of this, which is impossible, as we all know. If you have a lab coat, you can do a science. Science! See? It's that easy. But to be fair, this Dr. Carrie Madaj is actually a doctor, which is completely shocking. She's an osteopath, aka a joint doctor, which makes a lot of sense since she must have smoked a lot of them before making this video, which is frankly the only way I can explain how she comes to certain conclusions.
Kind of like being in The Matrix, if you've ever seen that movie.
What? Oh God, we're in that part of the internet again, aren't we? Movies, I'm doing the real truth. Again, no. While that could be something that you could call transhumanism, that's not what it means, TM. But yeah, I love these people who can only describe things in terms of pop culture. Like how the Joey character does the things in the Friends show.
And that may seem kind of cool to you.
Wow, that's a heck of a slogan to sell transhumanism to the masses. Transhumanism. It's kind of cool. It'll be the got milk of the future. And I'm totally stealing it for my company, where I attach cheap USB dongles to people's scalps with Gorilla Tape and tell them that they have enhanced memories now. I'll sell millions.
We might have some superhuman abilities, maybe be able to think of something and it happens.
Did you even watch the movie? For starters, only one character was supposed to have the power to change the Matrix as he saw fit, aka Le One, aka Neo, but spelled different. And, well, according to the films that was shown, he doesn't actually do that. Lazy.
Maybe have some physical abilities that would be almost superhuman-like. That's the idea. That's what you see in sci-fi movies.
Yeah, there's a reason they call them sci-fi, you know, science fiction, because they am the fictional. Although that doesn't stop a lot of that stuff coming true, eventually. But at the same time, tons and tons of it doesn't, and probably never will, because either it wouldn't actually be useful, or it simply is beyond the realms of possibility. And hell, the Matrix one, whilst not exactly the same, but as you described, it's basically here with VR, giving you the ability to experience superpowers or to create things wherever you want, in a fairly well-realised space that's only going to get better as time goes on. But I can't quite figure out how that seems to be a bad thing, as implied by your words and your title.
And for myself, thinking about this topic, I'm like, well, I have some time. I think that's many years in the future. However, this question, this idea is now right in this moment. We need to make a decision.
We are just now going to have to make the decision on the transhumanism thing. Yeah, it's not like we have already basically done that. It's not like we have fixed people's various birth defects or repaired those who have lost functions of their bodies in accidents, or giving basically everyone the ability to communicate with anyone on the planet at any given moment, inexorably changing the way our societies function probably forever. No, it's just now that things we are doing are going to actually change how things work.
And I found out that we need to make a decision about this because I investigated the proposed COVID-19 vaccine.
I wonder where that investigation took place. Vote now on your choice. I'm going with the moon men came down and gave her their secret future space technology to see through time and reality in order to read the vaccine inserts beyond the vaccine inserts.
And this is my alarm call to the world.
Really? Because I didn't know about this video until I went looking for COVID vaccine bad. Maybe find a better way of spreading your message if it's so important? I suggest carrier pigeon, or perhaps smoke signal. You know, really set yourself to the technological literacy level of the people that you are appealing to, that they understand.
I looked at the pros and cons, and it frightens me.
I know, right? Pros? There are none. Cons? Loads more humans will live than they would have without it. It's a horrifying travesty of epic proportions. They'll get in my way. They'll breathe my precious air. And worst of all, some of them will drink my whiskey. Which is to say, any at all, because it's all mine. But apparently some people don't seem to understand that for some reason. So that con, and the ones you're going to pull out of your arse, I guess.
And I want you to know about this. You need to be very well informed because this new vaccine is not like your normal flu vaccine.
No, it's for COVID, aka Mexican beer virus, aka Gary. It's not for the flu, you dumb motherfucker. God damn it. Keep up for Christ's sake. You know, you would think you were being deliberately obtuse for the sake of humour or something. But not I. Everything I say is 100% serious true fact.
This is something very different. This is something brand new. This is something completely experimental on the human race.
Yes, it's for COVID, aka, well, you get what I'm doing. We haven't had this particular strain of nasty boy spread all over the earth before, so we need something new to fight it. That's kind of how this works. Ugh, damn it. Someone go take that coat off of her. She doesn't deserve it. Not like me and my whiskey.
And it's not just about being a different vaccine. There are technologies that are being introduced with this vaccine that can change the way we live, who we are, and what we are, and very quickly.
Yeah, it can make people live. It can make them not be dead. It can help other people who can't have it directly not be dead as well. It's quite the medical marvel of an idea, isn't it? I'm surprised no one came up with one before, but apparently you can't make vaccines for things you don't know exist. I call Big Pharma shenanigans for not unleashing the virus on us sooner so that it could all be over sooner. Just more laziness.
I think that, some people that you might know these names, Elon Musk, who is the founder of SpaceX and Tesla Automotive, as well as Ray Kurzweil, who is one of the bigwigs of Google.
Totally have heard of Elon Musk, haven't heard of the other guy. Not sure how either of them are really going to matter in the long run, as I would have some pretty strong doubts as to them having any direct input into any vaccines, as neither of them are medical professionals as far as I'm aware, just based on what they do. But hey, I could be wrong.
These are self-proclaimed transhumanists. They believe that we should go to human 2.0, and they are very big proponents of this.
I don't know about you all, but I kind of expected a longer list. Partly because of the some people bit. Like, if it was just 2, you should have said 2. But more importantly, look at the formatting for them. That's clearly got space for at least one more name, if not more. Don't mess with me using design language. It bothers me slightly. The worst amount of being bothered, I think you will all agree.
There's a lot of other people that you might know their names. They're also involved with this, so you should look that up.
Oh, so there are supposed to be some more names, but for some reason, Cody here doesn't have them. How very surprising. But no, you should look them up, not us. You're the one trying to convince us of something. At least bring all your names and dates and whatever else. As I always say, I am under no obligation to make your points for you. What do you mean I don't always say that? Well, you prove that I don't. I don't have to listen to these baseless accusations.
I think the easiest way to explain this to you is to go with one of the front runners for the vaccine.
Wait, what's a front runner for vaccines? Wouldn't that just be the working vaccine? I'm so confused.
And go into a little bit of the history and tell you how they want to make the vaccine. And I think that will speak volumes.
Ah, well, I think I can answer that. They want to make it using the handy-dandy little tool we have developed over many centuries called not living in caves anymore. It's quite remarkable and has really brought mankind to some heady heights.
So, for instance, Moderna is one of the front runners for the COVID-19 vaccine.
Oh, so by front runners you mean the people that are actually trying to develop it. Okay, that makes way more sense than just front runners. Might want to, actually say what you mean next time. It's just, it makes you sound like you have absolutely no idea what you're talking about, which clearly isn't the case.
You should know that Moderna was founded by a person from Harvard, Derek Rossi, and this researcher actually was successful in taking some modified RNA and being able to reprogram a stem cell in the body and change the function of the stem cell. He actually made it genetically modified, okay?
Well, I don't know if that's true, but I know one thing. So what? Are you one of those GMO bad morons who doesn't know the difference between a technology and its uses? I hope not, because you are already on thin frickin' ice, my pedigree chum, and I shall be under it when it breaks. Probably drunk. I do wake up in a lot of very strange places.
So he proved that you can genetically modify something by using modified RNA. So they founded the company Moderna on this concept. It's kind of a new kid on the block, okay? It's not been around that long.
Okay, again, if that's true, so what? I mean, a company isn't the complete sum of its science and scientific knowledge based solely on time. I mean, if a bunch of extremely highly skilled and well-known mechanics opened up an auto repair shop, people wouldn't be surprised when it turned out that their service was excellent. So just because this company may be new as a company, it's completely irrelevant to its ability to put out good science.
In fact, it hasn't even made any vaccine for a human before. It's made no medicine for a human before. This will be their first run.
Again, don't know if true, don't matter. And it's also very, very suspicious that you add in the caveat of cough for a human, cough cough. Which says to me they absolutely have made medicines and vaccines for non-humans, as in animals, which do you know the major difference when making vaccines for humans and animals? Besides that, obviously, we're a lot more picky with ourselves. But it's basically nothing. Because if you can make a vaccine or a medicine for any creature, you can make one for any creature. Now, I'm not saying that they're all going to be the same products or anything. Humans and certain animals are very different from each other. Not all of the things that you make will work for all creatures. But if you know how to build 4 different styles of house, chances are you can build any other kind as well. The basics apply for all intents and purposes.
You must know that Moderna was in the news recently because it really fast-tracked. It's like the other companies, it's fast-tracking the vaccine. It's going from phase 1 to phase 2 very, very quickly.
Now, there could be a couple of reasons for that. Reason 1, evil. They are evil, and evil is making the evil sauce all over our faces, making us evil and spreading the evil to evil. evil. Or number 2, fast track and fast are not exactly the same idea. You see, I don't know if you've noticed, but there is a little bit of the sniffles going around at the moment that a couple of people are slightly bothered by. And 'cause some people would rather it did just do a big bye-bye, they are pumping in money to get it done. And that's the difference that you have to understand about COVID vaccines versus basically every other vaccine for stuff that isn't pandemic level. And now I'm going to be a little bit grown up here, but stuff that is not pandemic level goes through a more rigorous cost-benefit analysis type deal. Yes, drug companies absolutely want to make money. That's why they don't just ram infinite amounts of money into everything that they make. They actually plan it out and make sure that what they do is likely to yield useful results. But that means that normally, this crap is slow. Like with all things, if you want it fast and done right, you gotta pay. Otherwise, it's slow and done right or fast and done wrong. So guess what's happening with COVID vaccines? They are getting way more funding than usual because shockingly, when everyone on Earth is at risk, people tend to be a bit more generous. There's nothing sinister, you just don't know what you're talking about. Obviously.
In fact, it's gone from phase 1 to phase 3 in its experiments from March of this year until currently. I mean, that is unbelievable. It usually takes 5 or 6 years. How are they able to do this with the safety and efficacy data that we need?
Very well, thank you. In fact, they absolutely have to provide the safety and efficacy data to even bother releasing the thing at all. Tell me, what exactly would be the point of releasing a vaccine that doesn't work? I can't think of any reasons. At least none that make sense. One of those involves ducks. Millions upon millions of ducks. A duck-pocalypse, if you will, which is still more likely than whatever wackadoodle cockamamie nonsense you'll come up with. And now all I can think about is ducks. So I'm going to have to go and play the NES game Duck Hunt at the park with rocks. No, I'm not throwing rocks at ducks, officer, I swear. Wait, before you go, I have something super important to tell you. It's life or death. It will change everything forever. Nope, wait, it's gone. Oh well, probably wasn't important. But while I have you, don't forget to comment, subscribe and notify. And if you want more of my smexy voice, check out Mrs. Six's channel Spoonstaff Stories, where I narrate and voice all the videos, and she does the work. And if you want to support the channel, check out the merch store for cool t-shirts, or check out Patreon, memberships and PayPal to support directly. Finally, follow me on the medias of social to get completely pointless guff and to keep up on the latest releases. Oh, I just remembered what I was going to tell you. Whatever you do, don't touch the